I can't wait for today's interview. We're chatting with Maryke Musson from the Two Oceans Aquarium. We're going to be talking about her role as the leader of an organization that is world famous and is currently receiving world headlines because of Yoshi, the errant turtle, who is traipsing all over the world and making a big name for herself. So we're going to talk about Yoshi, but more specifically, we're going to talk about some of the tips and tricks and techniques and the how-tos of running an organization that has real social benefit and impact. Maryke Musson, it's so good to have you on the Heavy Chef Show and joining us today. I think there's a lot of news going on about what you're doing and the work that's happening, not just with the foundation, but also now with Yoshi, the turtle. So welcome.
Thank you so much. Super to be here.
Can I start with Yoshi? Because we're going to talk about the foundation, but Yoshi just seems to have overtaken the imagination of the world right now.
No, absolutely. Yoshi's like a legend and a complete celebrity, and I'm actually saying it's the first time ever that we can call a turtle a goat. You know, she's like greatest of all time.
Yes.
So Yoshi's amazing. She arrived at the Two Oceans Aquarium in 1997.
Wow.
A Japanese fishing vessel phoned in and said they've got this little turtle on board, and it had a little injury to a shell.
How big was she then?
Tiny little 2 kilogram, like a little, it's like the cutest thing ever.
Sweet, man.
So we never had the intention of keeping turtles because they're oceanic travelers, you know, they need the ocean.
Sure.
And also in an aquarium environment they've got very sharp claws on their flippers as well as a very sharp beak, and they scratch the windows terribly. So, so it was like, we don't really want a turtle. But she arrived and it was just like the cutest thing with the biggest personality ever.
Okay.
And I know we shouldn't give personalities to animals.
Did she scratch and bite, or was she just cute?
No, she scratched a lot, but that's what turtles do, so that's normal.
Okay. Did anyone lose a finger? I mean,
almost, on a few occasions.
Oh,
In fact,
really?
she got me by the ear one day.
Oh, really?
Luckily, she was still little, and I heard like crunch, and I thought, I'm going to look really odd with only one ear. But no
so this
injuries.
job is not for the faint-hearted.
No, but it's amazing. So Yoshi stayed, and we called her like queen of the aquarium.
Okay.
She ruled the roost, and we trained her quite quickly to feed off a target, so she won't harass the divers because she was ruled by stomach. It's like she'll do anything for food. And in about 2015, like through this whole process, actually, we learned a lot. We learned how to care for sea turtles, and all sea turtles are endangered. And a lot of sea turtles wash up along our coastline.
Okay.
So over the years, we started getting more and more injured or stranded turtles into the aquarium. And because of the time spent with Yoshi, we learned how to look after them.
Sure.
So in the last 10 years, we've rehabilitated and released over 600 sea turtles.
What?
Which is amazing.
Wow.
And I give credit to Yoshi. It's like, thank
awesome.
you, Yoshi, the best mentor, trainer, instructor, teacher in the world.
Yoshi was patient zero,
Yeah, so
wow.
she grew up, I mean, because she loved eating so much, she ended up being about 180 kilos.
Okay.
So she was large, not the largest of all turtles, but
She was spoiled, come on.
Of course, like tender loving care and a lot of food. But we did give a really good quality MSC certified, sustainably sourced organic hake, you know. So it was a very, very good
From
lean
Woodstock.
diet. Yeah, basically. So anyway, so in 2015, I was standing at her tank one day thinking, she must be estimated 22, 23, 24, which means she's coming up for sexual maturity. So she can go out and make like baby Yoshis.
How old did they get to?
Well, that's the thing. They get to 80 up to 100 years. So while standing there, I thought she's going to outlive me.
Wow.
And she needs to explore the ocean. So we started doing research, like would it be viable to release this turtle who's been in captive care and really well looked after for 20 years. And the most important part was really to convince my colleagues and staff, Yoshi's carers, our members, the Two Oceans Aquarium members, the visitors, because they all adopted this turtle and said, that's our turtle. We won't put it back in the ocean. It's a dangerous place, you know. There's plastic pollution, there's ghost fishing gear. What's going to happen? So did a lot of research, decided it actually is absolutely worth the effort. We released other rehab turtles with satellite tags, and they did exceptionally well. We followed them for over a year, and it gave us a lot of hope, and it validated the work that we've been doing today.
Sure.
So we trained her for 18 months. She was in a very strict exercise regime. She had to swim lengths every day. It's like going to the Virgin Active.
That's so funny. Did you guys swim with her?
No, we were clever because she was trained to eat on a target. So we'll have 2 divers in the tank on either side, and it's 20 meters across.
Yeah.
So we used
Just
to call
wave
it
food from
like
one diver to the
no,
next.
it looked like a little bat, like a tennis racket actually. I used to call it Yoshi tennis. So she had to swim from one target, get a little treat to the other
To go
side.
and find her certified food from the biscuit mill, you know?
Basically. So, but it really worked because she was large. She was slightly overweight. And it would be not in her best interest if we just drop off in the ocean and she just suddenly has got to swim and look for food and all of that. So we got her nice and fit and ready for release. And in December 2017 was the day. We had a big Yoshi farewell party. Everybody loved her. Everybody cried. And we put her back in the ocean. It was amazing. It was like a countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And she just ducked. It was like, phew, off she went. For some reason, everybody on the boat thought she's going to turn around and go like, love you, thank you.
One fin out
the water. But she was like, oh my word, there's no end. And she just went.
Oh,
and
amazing.
We weren't sure where she was going to go because the amazing thing about sea turtles, only the females go to shore to nest. And they go and nest where they hatch from, in this either the same beach or the same area. So not knowing where Yoshi's originally from, I mean, she came on a Japanese vessel.
Sure.
We were hoping she'll show us where she's from by finding a nesting site. But I knew Yoshi's like a teenage girl who's just finished matric and wanting to go on a gap year.
You know,
let's go and travel the world, see things, and she's been doing just that for 2 years. So she went up the west coast, which we didn't expect actually. Crossed over to Namibia. I keep saying she's getting a passport stamp, like all along the way. Went all the way up to Angola, then turned around and came back. So the first year, she did this loop up the coast.
Wow.
And after she was back in Cape Town, and I was like, well, offshore. And I was like, oh, we still have got no idea where she's going to go.
Yeah.
And the satellite tag has got a battery. So the battery's going to run out eventually. And it will be very sad if it runs out outside Cape Town.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So, but then she's just started missioning across the Indian Ocean, past Madagascar. And she's now a couple of 100 kilometers from Australia.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. So it's over 35,000 kilometers in 2 years, which is a world record.
Okay.
So Yoshi, the slightly overweight turtle, is a champ, a world champ.
This little gap year hipster rebel turtle. That's amazing.
So, and she's so fit and strong because turtles are smart swimmers. They usually use the currents. And rebel Yoshi is literally going against every current, up against the wind, but mostly to find food. So we
but
can
there's
see
easier ways of doing it, right? So with the current, like in Finding Nemo.
Yeah, but then you miss the feeding spots. So generally when turtles migrate to go and nest or mate, they don't even eat. It's like one-track minded. There's only one thing we need to do, and that's reproduce. So it's quite nice to see Yoshi's like, well, she's one-track minded in the sense of find food.
She's a progressive turtle.
Yeah.
That's so cool. This is the best job in the world, and that every day is inspirational. And you go, Maryke, if I may ask, what are some things that you are genuinely concerned about at the moment? Are there things that you must be exposed to that really you think, flip, we've really got something that people don't understand is as big of an issue as it is?
Look, pollution is a huge issue, and people don't understand it because they haven't been informed.
Is it getting better or worse?
It's getting better in areas where people are informed and they've got infrastructure. So we can't expect areas with no waste management and nobody.
Where those baseline services are not really looked after.
If it's not there, you can't expect people to actually. I can't criticize areas that's heavily polluted because the infrastructure is not there, and the information's not there, and the guidance isn't there.
And they just don't have the systems and the facilities to assist people to be conscious about these things.
Absolutely. So for us, it's a massive responsibility to try and reach as many. And it's easier to work with kids because they're the next generation, and it's much easier. They're still very sort of liquid. We can change minds, and we can inspire them easiest. He says, what you've been used to up to date, your normal, is not where we want to be. We want to change your normal, and you can understand why, because it's actually an amazing world. And that takes more contact time. So our outreach vehicles, I mean, Thabo and Anzo, they do incredible work. So they go out there into the rural areas. So it's genuinely under-resourced schools who would never be able to come to a facility like the aquarium or the beach. And then they've got an hour to spend with these kids to show them all these cool stuff, and we hope that something stays behind.
Yeah.
But we're on a mission now. We need to increase contact time. So basically is get the communities involved and spend more time with them. So it's repeat message, but in a fun way. I really dislike this, like, do not do this.
Because that seems to be, I was just about to ask, you know, in terms of NPOs and charitable organizations, the currency of the message is really around fear and fear mongering, right? And that seems to be very anathema to what you're doing. And you're doing something that's actually really positive and fun, and with these stories like Yoshi, it's just incredible.
Unless people are excited about it, they need to be inspired, they need to understand, and then everybody needs to love and have a passion, and then you're going to make a difference.
That's amazing. Yeah,
so,
very inspiring.
So that's really what we want to achieve, and also collaboration. So as with any business, you can't do it alone. We're lucky because it's so trendy, and there are lots of teenage girls who want to like clean beaches all day. So use all of that. We don't need to reinvent any wheel. So collaborate, get more people together to have a bigger impact. They're phenomenal programs. It's the Wesa Eco Schools program. It's very difficult for under-resourced schools to even understand that. So we want to hold hands and say, we'll be there every week. We're going to start eventually your eco clubs, but get buy-in. You know, so it becomes the new norm. Like we all become just eco schools and green, and that makes us happy, because that is the new norm.
Sure.
And like I said, that's good for business.
Maryke, I want to end off with two questions, two very pointed questions. The first is, we have in the Heavy Chef community a lot of social entrepreneurs, and we have some, you know, foundation initiators and founders and so on, who are starting businesses and organizations that are intended for social good. The first question is what advice do you have for those people at the early stages of building and growing those organizations?
You need to believe 200% in your objectives and live it, that passion. Because then nothing's going to stop you.
So it needs to be aligned. You need to really feel it authentically. Otherwise,
100%. You need to live
people
it, be
will
it.
See it, right?
Absolutely. You need to live it, be it. And then also network, and don't ever sit in the box. Get out the box, think out the box, like creativity rocks and rules. Do it in different ways. It's a massively competitive world, because it's not just Cape Town, South Africa, it's global. You know, with social media and connectivity in the digital world, it is so global, and it's so nice to collaborate. So don't be scared to hold on. Ultimately, any business wants to have as big an impact as possible, and whether it's for profit or not for profit. And in fact, we call it as we have to make surplus, because if we make surplus, we can do more and fund more. So in the for-profit world, that's profit.
And it's the same thing, right? You really do need to look at it as a business and apply the same principles.
So it's the same model. For us, it's just transparency is everything. And our reporting to our funders, you know, accountability, and to show what is the true impact.
My second question. What can we do, what can our audience do to support you?
So everybody, all people on this planet, almost 8 billion of us, can contribute to really doing one thing a day, pick up some trash or anything like that. But for the foundation itself, we're very dependent on donations. At the moment, we've got hashtag Yoshi Challenge.
How do we donate?
So people can obviously contact me if it's like big corporates, because we can issue S18A certificates, so there's a nice tax benefit. But we also have online on Give and Gain at the moment the hashtag Yoshi Challenge, where we're trying to get support to get 35,000 kids to the aquarium, to a classroom. We've got an amazing classroom. It's all hands-on. You get wet. You learn about the ocean.
Amazing.
So we want to get 35,000 extra kids this year. sponsored. And then we're hoping to get enough funds to pay for at least another 350 turtle rehab processes. And it's expensive, you know, to look, last year that we had over 200 turtles under care. We had to send a whole lot up to Shaka SeaWorld to assist, which is great again.
That's
collaboration.
amazing, yeah, that you guys are collaborating.
And luckily they were quite healthy. The previous year, the turtles were so sick, the little babies. They had pneumonia. We were nebulizing baby turtles.
What?
It's like,
how does a
it's
turtle
literally
get
like,
pneumonia?
they've got little lungs. So it's very stressful because they get so cold. So when they wash
shame.
up, they're cold, they're hungry and compromised. So we had a ward full of pneumonia and ear infections. I was like, it's literally like going to the pediatric ward at the hospital.
At the Red Cross, man.
Yes.
That's crazy. Wow.
And that in itself is a beautiful story, and that's what we love sharing with kids,
Yeah.
because we've got turtles with missing flippers, we've got turtles with strange injuries,
Yeah.
and if we persist and we keep up that hope and we keep up that love and
Yeah.
care, we pull them through. Last
Yeah.
year we had an 85% release rate, which is the highest in the world.
That's amazing.
And only this little facility at this southern point of
What's the
Africa.
secret to your success? Is it
Love
passion?
and
Passion,
passion.
love. I thought so.
Yes, people, our teams are there because they want to be there. They love it, you know.
On that note, thank you so much for bringing the love and passion to the Heavy Chef studio, and I just want to say how inspired I am. I mean, we're obviously also trying to create this foundation and you know, have an impact. But I've taken so much from this interview, and I really can't wait to apply those lessons, and also just to get involved, working more with you guys. I mean, you guys are our neighbors, right?
Oh, it's brilliant. Thank you for the opportunity, and like I said, it's like the best stories to share.
Yeah, nice.
So thank you.